All right, let us check back in with another big winner from this past Saturday. Knocked out Leonardo Santos with 1 second left in the fight at UFC Vegas 22. A successful foray into the lightweight division. Grant Dawson back on the show. How are you, sir?
Fantastic, man. Thank you so much for having me.
It's good to have you back. Congratulations on the win. First things first, because you and I have talked about this many times. This is not new for you and I. We've been doing this for a long, long time, many, many years, since well before the UFC. I know you've had finishes before, a whole bunch of them. I'm trying to remember if you had knocked somebody out like that. Like if you had slept somebody like that before. Like, has that happened before Saturday?
No, man. So I've gotten a couple of TKOs, but it was like through exhaustion, punches and bunches. It's never been like that meaty, and the look in his eyes that he gave me after the fight, I went up to shake his hand and congratulate him or whatever, and he looked at me and he had no idea who I was, and it was one of those like, wow, I hurt this dude, and he was definitely unconscious. So that was a new experience for me, and it's just something that I'm going to take into my next fight, and it's a confidence builder. I can finish fights through not just being a grinder, not just being a submission guy.
Yeah, it must have been like a different feeling altogether. Because like you said, exhaustion, you've TKO'd guys, you've submitted guys, but to, actually see him go out like that, watch the mouthpiece fly out. Like, I know there's a million things going on. It's a fight. James Krause screamed at you before the round started, but like when the fight was over and you saw him out cold like that, like what was going through your mind?
Just shock. I was in my head, it was 1-1. And, so I knew that, like, in my head, I was like, we could be up. I think I'm going to win this fight by decision, but it's not impressive. You don't really get to call somebody out afterward because you won a split decision or a decision of some kind. Like, this wasn't an impressive win, and I wasn't happy with it. So I was trying to just put a stamp on the round. I wasn't even really trying to knock him out. And then I hit him, and his eyes kind of rolled, and I was like, "Oh my goodness!" So I hit him again, and his mouthpiece popped out, and I was like, "This is over. I'm gonna get this. I'm gonna beat him." So it was a great experience, man, and such a confidence builder, and it's done nothing but progress my career. So I'm super excited.
Successful move to 155. Like, I'm sure you felt great not having to cut those extra pounds, but I mean, how did you feel at 55 in regards to like your strength, your size, etc., sort of matched up with another 55er?
Yeah, I'm going to have to play with it more. Definitely 145 is not in the future, so that's nice. The cut was still difficult, though. I'm a big guy. I don't think I'm small at 155, and I only think I'm going to get bigger. So it's definitely the right move for me, and I'm definitely happy with where I'm at, but we've got to change another couple of things just to make the weight cut, even easier, but also retaining more strength and muscle.
What did you take away from the first round specifically?
Just that I need to believe in my striking more. It's hard for me to see that I'm winning. I was winning every striking exchange. I think the only time I started looking bad was when I started, wrestling and panicking and wrestling. He didn't really hit me with anything, but for me being a grappler, it's hard to really see, hey, I'm doing really good striking. Hey, I'm winning these exchanges. So, maybe just reading that a little bit better, reading the fight a little bit better. And then for me, I was telling my coach this, I don't really put a lot of attention into rounds one, because I always think no matter what happens, they're going to get tired. They're going to slow down, and I'm going to have a better round two. So I usually don't start making real adjustments until halfway through round two when things aren't working. And I don't know if I need to change that. I don't know if I need to look at that a little bit more, but that's just something we kind of talked about today.
Yeah, it seemed like you sort of alluded to, like things were getting better as the fight progressed. You were making the adjustments, and you were having a tough time taking Leo down. Eventually, you were able to get him down in the third round, but that isn't something you've had to deal with very much. You typically get a hold of guys, you take them down rather easily, you suffocate them. This time it was a bit more of a struggle, and I know you realize that you need to rely a little more on your striking, have more faith in it. But was it getting kind of frustrating in there for you?
Yeah, sure. Why not? You're going to have fights where that happens. You're going to have fights where you can't take the guy down every second of the round. You're going to have fights where things like that happen. It is what it is. I'm going to grow from it, and I'm going to move on. Let's not forget that when Khabib was making his, big run, he fought a dude and he couldn't get him down, not once. That doesn't mean that he's a bad wrestler. It just means he's got to make some adjustments and move on. And so that's what I'm going to do.
Well said. James Krause and his cheat codiness. I mean, good God, like that speech he gave you between the second and third rounds, like I wish someone would put like patriotic music behind it when you see the clips, because it's going to go down as one of like the all-time great corner talks. He knew exactly what to say to you in that moment. And I seriously want him to advise me through everything in life. Like he can make a business out of just selling clips on the internet. Hey, listen to me, MFer, get out of bed. It's 5:30. Get your kid up, make breakfast, get to work on time, put the cookies down. Like, what was that minute or so like for you, listening to him tell you, stop trying to take him down, add punches, finish him, because we don't know how this is being scored? Like, what was those 60 seconds like for you?
Well, I mean, everybody keeps saying that. Everybody keeps bringing up the speech. Everybody keeps bringing up this like, you know, this awesome corner advice, which it absolutely was. I'm used to it, though. You know, I've been with James before there was corner cameras. I was with James before there was, you know, cameras filming the fight at all. So I've heard it all. I've seen it all. He knows exactly what to say to me, and I know exactly what he's saying and what it means. You know, when he says stuff, you know, to me in the corner, what you guys think it means and what I think it means and what he actually means, you know, it's all different. So, you know, it was really cool for you guys to see that, but just know that I have to deal with that every day. So it wasn't anything, you know, super out of the ordinary for me.
So what, like you say that how we decipher it, how you decipher it, how he is explaining things are different. Like, what were you hearing from him that maybe we didn't understand?
Just that I needed to push forward, man. Basically what he was trying to tell me was I'm beating him striking, and the only time that I'm looking like an idiot is when I'm, you know, getting thrown on the cage or taking bad shots, and I don't need to do that. And he's right, you know, like I've watched the fight a bunch of times, and I just wish I could go back and tell myself, like, hey, you're winning the striking exchanges. You're winning the only time you look bad is when you try something big and you get thrown on your butt, you know? So there's a lot of things that I can take from this fight, and there's a lot of things that I can grow from this fight, and that's great doing that off of a win instead of a loss.
Is this sort of the fight you learn the most from? I mean, obviously, like with debuts and things like that, you pick things apart and you learn along the way. But, you know, new weight class, experienced guy who was a fellow unbeaten guy in the UFC. Would you say that you're going to take more from this fight than maybe any other?
You're always going to take stuff from every fight, whether you win, lose, or draw. You're gonna have new experiences and stuff like that. I will say the fight that I absolutely learned the most, and I actually think the fight that helped me in this fight, was my fight with Julian Erosa. When I fought Julian, it was so easy to take him down. It was effortless to take him down, but I could not hold him down. I could not keep him down. He would get up effortless. As easily as I took him down, he would get back up. And so that was a real mind blower for me, and a real like, oh crap. I remember halfway through the second round of that fight just being like, oh my goodness, what am I going to do? How do I win this fight? I just have to go. And that really helped me grow up and really helped me mature in my fighting career. And I think that's honestly one thing that helped me a lot in this fight, you know, being calmer, being more composed, understanding that things might not be going my way, but it's okay. So I've learned a lot from this fight, but if you're asking me what fight I learned the most from, it was the Julian Erosa fight.
Kind of you mentioning Julian, what has been like, because I know you watch everything, you're a fan of the sport, but what has been like watching Julian get back to the UFC and get a couple of finishes like he has?
Oh, it's great, man. Every win that he gets makes me look a lot better. So I'm happy. And he's such a good guy. You know, he fought one of my former teammates, Sean Woodson, and you know, I am never rooting against Sean or anything like that, but if you're gonna lose the fight, that's the guy you want to lose to. He's such a good human being, and he trains hard. Like, we have the same manager, and they're always talking about how hard he trains and how good he is, and how he's had bad luck. So I'm happy for him. I'm really, really happy for him, and I hope he keeps winning, because he's going to keep making me look good.
So when we spoke before, you said you had a name in mind. You were hoping maybe May. You already get somebody going, and you call out Clay Guida. But before you get to that call out, you had another call out for Paul Felder. So I'm curious, did you get that follow on Instagram yet?
followed me back that night.
Nice.
Congratulations. Paul's a great guy. You know, there's two guys in the top 15 that I won't fight, and that's Drew Dober and Paul Felder. And the only reason I won't fight them is because one, they're both so good, man. I don't even know if I could beat those guys. But the other reason is they're so nice, they're so awesome, they're great guys, and I'm legitimately friends with them, and I don't want to fight them. So I was real happy with it.
There you go. So why Clay Guida? I have to be honest, that one surprised me a little bit.
Why does that surprise you?
I just feel like Santos I had like, my rankings don't mean anything in the world, but in my brain, he's like a top 20, top 25 guy at the absolute worst, unbeaten in the UFC at 55. I feel like you're a win away from maybe getting into the top 15, depending on who you fight next. I know you're not necessarily in a massive rush to get there. So I was a little surprised by it. And personally, like I said, we've been having conversations 6-7 years now. I'm not you. I'm not James. I'm not your manager. It threw me off a little bit because especially I host a matchmaking show as well. There were a lot of more popular suggestions than that from like the viewers and the listeners, but I'm not you, like I said. So why Clay? Like why him out of everybody?
So Clay makes so much sense to me in my brain. And I keep hearing, people saying that the matchup doesn't make sense. How does this matchup not make sense? Where he's a legend. I remember watching him fight when I was in high school. I want to fight him. I want to fight a legend, a big name. And Leonardo Santos is a better fighter than Clay Guida. But if you go onto the street and ask random people who Clay Guida is, who Leonardo Santos is, I guarantee you 99% of more people are going to know who Clay Guida is. So I get paid great to fight him. We're in the same weight class. And when I beat him, beating his name pushes my name up there. And then that gives me another crack at the top 15. So that fight just makes perfect sense to me. Absolutely. If they offer me Ali Aquinta, I'm going to take Ali Aquinta. Absolutely. If they offer me Kevin Lee, I'm going to take Kevin Lee. I just don't think they are, and I would much rather fight, Clay Guida, who has a name, than Makama Mashakama, who's like 58-0 and nobody knows who he is, but he's really good. So now I'm fighting a really, 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 really good guy that nobody knows who he is. So then I beat him and everybody's like, well, okay, who's that guy? And he's like, you see what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
this is not just a sport. It's a game. And you have to be able to do both. You got to know how to fight, and you got to know how to play the game. And I am playing the game while fighting.
All right. This is why you're the fighter and I'm the guy asking the fighter. You know way more than I do. And I'm glad we were able to kind of clear that up. Can I tell you the popular name that I've been getting?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to hear it.
Alex Hernandez.
So Alex Hernandez, I've been getting that name too. That's nuts to me. How does Alex Hernandez make sense, but Clay Guida doesn't? Alex Hernandez is coming off of a loss, a bad loss. And I like Alex. I'm not talking crap on Alex at all. He trains at Factory X. I'm really close with his coach, and my coach is really close with his coach. I don't think that fight will happen because they don't want to fight each other. The coaches don't want to fight each other, and I'm going to respect that. But just take that out of it. Alex, the fighter, not Alex the person, Alex the fighter, makes way less sense than Clay Guida. He's coming off of a loss. He's got like he's like 2-2 in his last 4, I think. So how does that make sense? Clay's ranked higher than me. Clay's coming off of a win, and everybody and their dog knows who Clay is. So it just, and I'll take it. If the coaches are cool with it, I will take Alex. That's a fine fight for me. But that's where I'm like, how does Alex make sense, but Clay Guida doesn't?
Yeah, it's just, the ranking, like you see the top 15 and people vote for them and they're like kind of etched in stone. You go to the UFC's website and you see what it is. And then everyone kind of has their own mindset on where guys are ranked and all that quality, competition, all that stuff. I feel like Hernandez is probably right around the Santos range, even though he's 2-2 in his last 4, just because of the guys he's fought. And I feel like he's kind of the heel here. I feel like a lot of people kind of want to see him lose. That's just the thing I get. So by beating Alex, you're beating a guy that people know. Maybe they know Clay more, but if you beat Alex, it kind of puts you over a little bit as the sort of the baby face, the popular guy who beat the guy that a lot of people don't necessarily like that much.
Yeah, sure. One, I don't know Alex personally, but I know his coaches, and my coach knows him, and they've said nothing great things about him. So if you don't like Alex, that's your own thing. Like, I'm not going to go fight a dude because so-and-so doesn't like him. But the other thing too is we have to remember one thing, and so many people forget this. If you're not ranked in the top 15, we're all the same. Nowadays, people are getting wins over nobodies and getting ranked in the top 15. They're not beating guys in the top 15 anymore. They're putting on a win streak and beating a name. So Sadiq Youssef is my example for this. And I think Sadiq is fabulous. Don't be twisting my words. I think he definitely belongs in the top 15. But he has beat nobody in the top 15. His best win was against Andre Fili, who a lot of people thought he lost. Then he gets ranked in the top 15. Bryce Mitchell, no wins in the top 15, beats Andre Fili, gets ranked in the top 15. So it doesn't even matter anymore. Like, I don't have to beat somebody in the top 15 to get into the top 15. I bet you if I beat Clay Guida, I'll be ranked in the top 15. I bet you if I beat Alexander Hernandez, I'll be ranked in the top 15. So don't tell me, and this isn't at you, but like, don't tell me that fights don't make sense. I'm trying to buy a house. I'm trying to, start a family. Don't be mad at me for going after a legend and a chance to make more bonus money. Like, get out of here, dog.
Have you gotten a lot of backlash from the call out?
Yeah, a lot. A lot of people are like, why? Okay, hold up. So the same people that are saying that I was going to lose to Leonardo Santos because he was too experienced for me are the same people that are saying I only beat up an old man and now I'm trying to beat up another old man. You're god dang right I'm trying to beat up old men. Let's go. Give me all the legends. Give me all the guys on their way out. I will cash these checks. And then when I'm ready and I'm in my prime, I'm not even in my prime yet. Once I've hit my full man body and I'm ready in my prime, then I'll start beating up everybody. Like I said, I'm not turning down no fights. I'm not saying I don't want to fight the top 15. Just what makes sense to me is Clay Guida.
Isn't this sport a beautiful place?
It's awesome. I love it. Hey, I'm not complaining. I love every second of this. Keep talking crap on me. Keep doubting me. Keep not believing in me. Or keep supporting me. I love it all. Let's go.
I know that you are a very active man on social media, and when you call somebody out on the broadcast, it doesn't stop there. You hit Instagram, you hit social media, and you're not like dogging Clay. Like, this is a kind of a bucket list fight for you. I understand where you're coming from, but any response from Clay yet in terms of interest?
No, and I don't think that he's running from me. I don't think he's scared of me. I absolutely think that he will fight me. He's a true fighter. He'll take any fight that's offered to him. I don't think he's real active on social media. I think that he's, out fishing instead of, making posts and stuff like. No,
I agree with you.
Yeah, so I don't think he's like scared of me by any means. But no, I have not heard anything from Clay. And the other thing too is, like, people have been messaging me being like, humble yourself, be more respectful. What did I do that was not respectful? I am in a sport where we fight each other. And the thing that's disrespectful is me saying, hey, I would like to compete against this guy. Like, just get off the internet. You suck. Get off, go to church and be humble over there. Like, I'm trying to compete here. I'm trying to make my next move for my life to make it better. Get out of here, dog.
I'll tell you what, man, I was one of those guys who was like, I didn't love the call out, but you sold me. I'm in now. You versus Clay. I'm in. And I wasn't like dogging you. I understood where you were coming from. It was just like the matchmaker in me, the rankings in me. But right. I get where you're coming from. I'm not dogging you for the call out. I was surprised by it, but you've sold me on it. I will tell you the truth.
Well, here's the other thing too. It's like, if they say, hey, do you want to fight for the belt? Absolutely. Let's go. That is the fight that I will never turn down, no matter what. I want to fight for the belt. But these fair weather fans, or these people that don't really know the sport, and I'm not talking about you, but these guys that are sitting on their couch and they don't really know the sport, they're like, that doesn't do anything for his career. Bull crap, that doesn't do anything for my career. That dude's a legend. That dude's a gamer, and he's beat a lot of people. He beat RDA. He was beating Brian Ortega. Like, he's got a bunch of wins under his belt. You can't tell me that a win over Clay does nothing for my career. Also, if you're not my coach, my manager, or my family or teammates, y'all don't get a say in my career anyway. So later.
There you go. And Clay's a dog too, so that's a good test for you, sort of a next level thing to even prepare you for those top 15 fights that you're seeking anyways.
Yeah, he's got that X factor. He's got the cardio, the griminess, the doesn't care, and he's seen it all. There's nothing I'm going to do to Clay that he hasn't seen. So that's just, more experience for me and builds my record and moves me forward. Like there's no step back in this game. Losing, only step back. If I lose to Clay, it means the exact same if I lose to Islam Makhachev. The exact same. And people think that it doesn't. People will be like, well, no, Islam's a lot better than Clay. It means the same. It means I've got another 3 or 4 years of fighting back. It means I got another, trying to renegotiate contracts and moving my way back up to that title. It means the exact same. Don't get it twisted. Losing is losing.
I know your plan is to be as active as possible this year. You said you wanted 3-4 fights this year. You wanted to get back in May. That's still the plan? Get you in there in May?
Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen. That card is ridiculous. May 15th was what I was looking for. I'm definitely going to be ready, though. I'm definitely going to stay ready, and I really hope that that's something we can slip in. I don't think May is going to happen, but I'm definitely going to get 4 fights in this year. It's going to happen.
There you go. Does Clay have any ties to Texas? That would be nice. Maybe he's got something there. There you go.
I'm down.
Yeah, I feel like they're going to load it with a lot of like homegrown talent and people from there outside of the title fight. So Who knows?
Well, they want. It's the first fight back. There'll be fans there no matter what. They could make it an undercard and they'll still, you can put whoever you want on that card and it's going to sell out. First card back. Let's go. Or is that the Florida? That's the second. Okay. Yeah. They'll still, come on, man. Have they ever not done well?
That's true. People are ready to come back, man. And you're ready to come back. Congratulations on the win. That was something else, man. Just a crazy fight. The whole thing was just a crazy ride from start to finish. Like kind of seeing you battle through the adversity, outstriking him, struggling to get the takedowns, and then ending the fight with 1 second left, man. That's just something else, man. That's storybook stuff. So congratulations on that. Anything else you want to get off your chest before we say goodbye, my man?
Oh man, just thanks for everything. Like this whole journey has been awesome. I've got interview after interview. I've got people reaching out to me saying how amazing the fight was. And that means a lot to me. So thank you, everybody. And I can't wait to get back in there.
Oh yeah. John Anik gave you a nice shout out too. Did you see that?
I like John a lot. He's a good guy, man. He's real good.
We got to get him calling one of your fights now and we're off to the race. That means it's pay-per-view time.
Let's go. I think he's called one of my fights. I think he's called 2.
Fight Island? Did he call that one?
Yep, Fight Island, and when I fought Trizano, I believe.
I think you're right. Now that I think of it.
No. It wasn't Trizano. It was Arosa.
That's what it was. Yeah, yep. It was Julian. That's what it was. Yep. Well, let's get him calling all your fights, and then
I like it. He's one of my favorite. He does a better job than Joe does.
Okay. I mean, a lot of people have been saying that these days, but thank you, man. Enjoy. I'm sure you got many more of these to go, so I appreciate the time.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you for having me.